Hello, I'm looking for advice. English isn't my first language. Me and my husband have been married for 8 solid years, and the first few years of our marriage were perfect. We actually met at the bar, where I fell in love immediately. My friend introduced me to him. He was a top student in their class and a very sweet guy. When we got into the relationship, he never failed to surprise me with gifts I didn't even ask for. I felt so lucky that I met him. That is why, when he proposed, I did not hesitate to say yes. As I have said, our few years as husband and wife were perfect. But there was one problem. We couldn't bear a child. He supported me through thick and thin. We both had stable jobs, but when I got pregnant the first time, I had to stay at home. Then I had a miscarriage at 6 months. I don't know how that happened. I was so devastated at that time, and it really messed up my mental health. My husband was there for me during those moments. He stayed with me when I needed him, and he bought me whatever I was craving. He gave me all I need. In short, he was a perfect husband. I couldn't ask for more. After my miscarriage, my husband and I tried again. I was so happy that I got pregnant again. I promised to him and to myself that I would take extra care of our child this time. We were both so excited. But I messed up. I really messed up. I cheated on him. When I was 5 months pregnant with our only child, I was having morning sickness and was so emotional, but he didn't give me any attention as before. I even initiated making love with him, but he refused because he said that it could be bad for the baby. He was so busy at work at that time. He always argued that he needs to save money for the baby. I get that he just wanted to be ready with the bills, but I don't know what I was thinking at that moment. I felt like he didn't want to do anything with me anymore. I almost felt like he neglected me. My husband was always coming home late from work. I always felt sad and lonely whenever he left me alone. Sometimes I wanted to talk to him, but he was always tired. That's when I met a guy on a dating app. We were talking for quite some time. Then one day I decided to invite him to our house. Of course, I didn't tell him I was married and pregnant. At first, we were just watching a movie and chatting with each other. I found out that he was a sales agent. He was talking to me about his job in a way that I couldn't really understand. I just gave him simple nods. Then, after that, we did the thing. It was just one time. I blocked him afterwards and basically ghosted him. I regret what I did so much, but my husband saw some of the previous messages I forgot to delete on my phone after a few weeks. He was furious and wanted to leave me. I begged for him to stay and reminded him that I was pregnant. When I saw his face that day, I felt like he wanted to hurt me. His face was so red from anger and I couldn't handle the situation. I had contractions. He was scared that my miscarriage would happen again. That's why he couldn't help but forgive me. He realized that I needed his support. My husband never knew that I met the guy. All he knew was that I was looking for someone to talk to online. Our son came out healthy and smart. I never went back to work since I had him. I really hated working and loved being a stay-at-home mom, though my husband hated it because he had to work more hours to make sufficient living. But it gave me more time to bond with my child. However, when my son turned 3, I found it hard to take care of him alone, so my husband needed to hire a babysitter to help me at home. My husband, as usual, was so busy with work, he's working overtime to pay for our bills as well as the babysitter. I did understand that he just wanted to make it easy for me, but still, I felt very distant with him. There were days that we did not talk at all. That's when I met Carl, not his real name, 35, who is like me, a married man. Again, I met him on a dating app. That time, I felt like he was giving me all of the attention that my husband never gave me since I became a full-time mom. I was so careful with our little affair. I was telling my husband that I just visit my parents' house, but actually, I've been leaving my son at my mom's house and going to Carl's apartment every now and then. It became frequent that it raised suspicions. He caught me when one time he called my mom and mom told him that I wasn't there. He was tracking me and reached Carl's apartment. He was in a state of shock and disbelief when he saw me open the door. I tried to beg, but he did not let me explain. He was so done with me this time. He wouldn't let me face him. I tried calling him so many times, but he kept blocking me every time I changed my number. He cut off our communications and wouldn't even let me see my child when I went by our house. Instead, he just screamed at me and chased me away. Currently, I am living with my mom, although she hates me now because of what happened. I feel like nobody's listening to me anymore, no matter how much I explain. I can't even ask for our mutual friend's help because they despise me for what I did. I really messed up. My husband has already sent me the divorce papers. I can't believe that a man who loved me for so many years ended up hating me. It's been 2 months since the last time I talked to him. I can only communicate with him through my mom when I need to see my son. I can't sign the papers yet. I still want to save our relationship even though it's probably too late. I have no idea how to start again with life. I don't even know if I'm still capable to work. I'm literally nothing without him. I formally ended everything with Carl. I want to get my husband back. I think I'm losing my mind. Story 2. Required information. I'm 34 female and my husband is 35 male. We have been married for 10 years. We have 2 elementary school age sons. Background. We've been together since 1999 and are college sweethearts. Married for just over 10 years. I work long rotations for work, consulting, and I'm away from home about 40% of the year, so it's very stressful to our marriage. I do love my job though, and I wouldn't change anything. We have found a good compromise and it's worked for us. I've cheated in the past when we were dating, but we just put it behind us and have really moved on from it, and in a lot of ways are strong for it. He does mention the cheating every once in a while, and I wouldn't say he has forgot. I've floated the idea of an open marriage to him in the past, and he wasn't really receptive, but I wasn't trying to convince him either. The current issue. So I've been working 12 hours away from my family for the past 6 months, and once the holiday season passes, I will be back to the rotation. I'm going to be there until April. It's a really challenging operation, and I love it, but it's been stressful to be away from them. It ends up working out to me being home for about 5 days a month, and those days are glorious, but the time in between is tough. One of the VPs at the company I'm working for has had his eye on me for a while. We hit it off at work and there has been this fun charge between us, but I've tried to not let anything happen. Well, something happened about a month ago, and we've been in an affair from until then. He has an open marriage himself. As bad as the guilt is, it's also been so exciting and thrilling. He is a great lover and we have a really great chemistry there. To make things more complicated, I had an encounter with another man very recently too. This has all made me think about our marriage and monogamy. I've seen firsthand how prevalent cheating is, and I think it's an outdated model. It's near impossible, with even the best of intentions to uphold. I am attracted to other men and my husband I'm sure is the same way. We shouldn't let societal pressure confine us. I love my husband, but the distance is so difficult on us. I think for us, an open marriage is the perfect solution. We have a great family and a great home and life we've built together. Our kids don't need to be shuttled around with 2 homes, 2 step-parents, and go through a divorce. That isn't fair to them. There's still passion with my husband and I, and we still love one another, and I don't think we need a divorce. An open marriage lets us both explore without losing the stability of one another. I am confident with myself and I would be fine, even supportive of him exploring too. I wouldn't be at all jealous and I would want him to have fun too, so this is not a hypocrisy issue. I am returning home on Friday and will be back for 4 weeks, and I would like to, over the holidays, bring up this and make my case to my husband. I'm just looking for some advice on how to make the case to him about why this is for us. I have my reasons, but I would love to have Reddit's advice and support. I've thought of some rules for us, such as nothing with any mutual friends and no falling in love, but I am open to more suggestions. Also, I feel awful about the cheating and I'm contemplating confessing to him about it all regardless. I will wait and see his reaction to the open marriage and go from there about that. Comments. An open marriage would require the kind of honesty that is definitely not present in cheating. Also, it is still possible to cheat in an open relationship. I think before you start trying to have that conversation, you work out for yourself why you have cheated, not why you feel the desire to be with others, but why you cheated rather than talking to your husband about an open relationship first. Stop trying to rationalize your shitty behavior. It's not fair to your husband that you're lying to him, betraying his trust, and sleeping with other men. Confessing and letting him decide what he wants to do is the only credible option, but seeing how self-centered you are, I doubt that'll happen.